Nigel, you've talked a lot about what you would do. New prisons, new pop-up custody suites, deportations, fast-track courts. Presumably you'll need extra police as well if you're going to have crime. How are you going to pay for it? And are voters right to think that Reform is prepared to throw money at problems to solve them? And can I just ask a second question about some of the unrest we've seen in Epping in the last 10 days or so? Sarah talked about it there. What's Reform's position? Do you think it's understandable that this is happening, or do you agree with the police that it's descended into mindless thuggery?
Thank you. Right, cost. What's it going to cost? I was rather waiting for that one. What's it going to cost? Those proposals, and by the way, a costing sheet is being handed out to you right now with costings for each of those proposals. The cost will be, of that programme, on our arithmetic, £17.4 billion over the course of a 5-year Parliament. But you have to look at what the cost of crime is. One think tank recently estimated the cost of crime to be £170 billion a year to the British economy, and goodness knows how much money is being laundered and unpaid taxes. So it isn't really a question of can we afford to do this. It's really a question of we can't afford not to do this. That's just how grim and serious the situation is. Our societies are spiralling downwards. Something needs to happen, and happen very quickly. And of course you'll say, where's the money going to come from? Well, it's a funny one, this, because whenever we say there should be £1 billion spent on this or that, I'm portrayed as being the great modern-day spendthrift socialist, but we are actually advocating cutting huge amounts of public spending, starting with the utterly failed, abysmal HS2 project, which the government is quite happy to spend 50 to 70 billion more pounds on over the course of the next few years. And we've been talking about the cost of net zero to an incredulous press audience. Even the OBR estimate the cost of net zero to be 30 to 35 billion pounds a year. And looking at the upcoming wind auctions, which will take place in August, it seems that Miliband is happy to throw countless billions of subsidy at overseas wind companies. So they're just some of the examples of how we can actually cut expenditure. And we want to reduce the size of a state. I want to be clear about that. We genuinely will reduce the size of a state. And of course, in Argentina, they all said the bloke's a madman, absolute madman with his chainsaw. But look what's happening. He's cut the size of the public sector by about 15%, 20% in some cases, and Argentina is beginning to see the beginnings of an economic miracle. A bigger state does nothing for prosperity.